Have you ever rolled over in bed and heard your wife let out that quiet sigh, the kind that says more than words ever could? That sigh carries loneliness, disappointment, things she doesn't know how to say out loud. And if you felt that distance growing between you two, I want you to know it's not just in your head and it's not too late. My name is Dr. Lily Harper. I've been practicing couples health and senior wellness for over 15 years, and in that time I've sat across from thousands of men, good men, loving husbands, who came into my office with the same look on their face, defeated, confused, quietly heartbroken. They'd say, "Dr. Harper, my wife doesn't seem to want me anymore." And every single time I'd tell them the same thing. That's not what's happening. She still wants to be loved. You just need to learn how to reach her again. Today I'm going to share with you the hidden switch, the one most men never find, that can completely change the way your wife responds to you. Not just physically, but emotionally. This isn't about being younger or stronger. This is about being wiser, and I promise you, everything I'm going to share today, you can start tonight. Let me tell you about Robert, a 67-year-old retired firefighter from Ohio. He came to see me after his wife, Linda, had started sleeping on the other side of the bed. Not just physically, but emotionally. He said, "Doc, I feel like I'm living with a roommate. I don't know what I did wrong." Robert wasn't a bad husband. He brought her coffee every morning. He fixed things around the house. But in the bedroom, he was still operating the way he did at 35. Fast, direct, focused on one destination. And Linda, at 64, needed something completely different. Within 3 months of applying what I'm going to share with you today, Linda was the one reaching for Robert's hand first. He called my office just to say, "Dr. Harper, it feels like we're dating again." That kind of change is available to you too. Here's the first thing most men get wrong, and I say this with total respect because nobody teaches us this stuff. After menopause, a woman's body changes significantly. Estrogen levels drop. The vaginal walls become thinner. Natural lubrication decreases. Studies show that over 60% of women in their 60s experience discomfort or even pain during intercourse, especially with intense, fast, or forceful stimulation. But most husbands don't know this. They keep doing what they've always done, and they wonder why their wife pulls away. Think of it this way. When you were young, intimacy was like turning up the volume on a stereo. Loud, fast, powerful. But your wife's body now is more like a fine acoustic guitar. You don't bang on it. You learn to play it gently, patiently, with intention. Research consistently shows that over 80% of women over 60 report deeper satisfaction from slow, emotionally connected intimacy than from anything quick or forceful. This isn't just a preference, it's how her nervous system actually works now. I had a patient, Dennis, 65, from suburban Chicago. His wife, Karen, kept saying she was tired whenever he'd initiate. He started thinking she just wasn't attracted to him anymore. But when I explained what was actually happening in Karen's body, the physical changes after menopause, the way her nerve endings needed more time and gentler pressure, Dennis had a breakthrough. He told me, "I feel like I've been trying to open a door by banging on it. You're telling me there's a key." Exactly. And today I'm giving you that key. Now let me get specific, because a lot of you have told me you want the real information, not just the warm, fuzzy talk. And I hear you. Most men have heard of the G-spot. Some of you have tried to focus on it. But here's what most people don't know. The G-spot is basically the doorbell. It gets attention. But the real power switch, the one that can unlock a level of physical and emotional response you may have never seen in your wife, is located deeper. It's called the anterior fornix, sometimes referred to as the A spot. It sits near the cervix, deeper inside than the G spot, roughly around the 4 to 5 inch mark internally. When this area is stimulated correctly, it triggers what's sometimes called a cervical orgasm, a full body, deeply emotional response that goes way beyond what most couples experience. A study published in the Journal of Sex Research found that women who experienced stimulation in this area reported not just physical pleasure, but a dramatically stronger emotional bond with their partner. Over 80% said they felt closer to their husband afterward than they had in years. Here's the thing though, 99% of men have never even heard of this, and even the ones who don't know how to approach it safely, because done wrong, it causes discomfort. Done right, it changes everything. Let me walk you through the preparation first, because this is where most people skip ahead and mess things up. The first thing you need is lubricant. I know some of you are thinking, that's for younger people or it feels awkward. Drop that idea right now. After menopause, reduced natural lubrication isn't a preference, it's a physiological fact. Using a water-based lubricant isn't a sign that something's wrong. It's an act of love. It tells your wife, your comfort matters more to me than my ego. Over 60% of women in their 60s say lubrication issues are a significant barrier to intimacy. A good water-based lubricant, available at any drugstore, CVS, Walgreens, you name it, removes that barrier entirely. I had a patient, George, 68, from Nashville. He was embarrassed the first time I suggested it. He said, "Doc, aren't we a little old for all that?" I told him, "George, you wouldn't run an engine without oil, would you?" He laughed. A month later, he came back and said, "My wife said last night was the most comfortable she's felt in years. She actually initiated." That's what a $7 bottle of lubricant can do when it's offered with love. The second area of preparation is your own energy and vitality. Look, your wife needs you present, engaged, and physically capable. I often recommend 2 natural supplements to my male patients over 60, L-arginine and maca root. L-arginine supports healthy blood flow by relaxing blood vessels, and maca has been shown in multiple studies to support healthy testosterone levels and physical stamina. In a study of men over 60 who supplemented with L-arginine daily for 8 weeks, 70% reported meaningful improvements in circulation and overall energy. Always check with your own doctor before starting anything new, but these are widely available at places like GNC or Whole Foods and are generally well tolerated. The third preparation, and this one might be the most important of all, is emotional readiness. The anterior fornix doesn't just respond to physical stimulation. It responds to safety, to warmth, to feeling genuinely desired. Your wife's body will not open up if her heart is closed. So before anything physical, you need to invest in the emotional connection throughout the day. Not just in the bedroom, not just at night. I'm talking about small things, telling her she looks beautiful when she walks into the kitchen in the morning, putting your hand on her back when you're walking into a restaurant, texting her in the middle of the afternoon just to say, "Thinking about you." These aren't just nice things to do. They trigger oxytocin, the bonding hormone, which research shows can increase relationship satisfaction by over 50% when practiced consistently. I had a patient named Walter, 69, from Atlanta. He and his wife Margaret hadn't really connected in years. He was a quiet guy, not big on words. I told him to try 3 simple things every day. Hold her hand in the morning, compliment something specific about her at lunch, and say, "I love you" before bed. And mean it, not just as a habit. 1 week later, Margaret told him, "You seem different lately, warmer." That was the opening. Everything else followed. Now let's talk about the actual technique, and I'm going to be direct with you because that's what you need. The anterior fornix is located deeper than the G-spot, approximately 4 to 5 inches inside, near the front wall of the cervix. To reach it effectively, you need the right approach angle. Whether using fingers or during intercourse, aim slightly upward at about a 45-degree angle. Don't go straight in. The angle matters because you're trying to reach the anterior wall near the cervix, not the posterior wall. When using fingers, keep your fingertips curved slightly upward and move slowly. You're not searching aggressively, you're exploring gently. Think of it like reading Braille, soft, attentive, listening with your hands. Once you find an area that makes your wife respond, a subtle shift in breathing, a relaxation in her hips, a sound she didn't expect, that's your signal. Don't speed up. Don't increase pressure suddenly. Stay right there. The second technique is applying deep, rhythmic pressure. This is not rubbing or thrusting quickly. You're pressing gently but firmly. Hold that pressure for about 5 seconds, then slowly release. Then repeat. It's like a heartbeat, rhythmic, steady, patient. Studies show that 75% of women who've experienced this type of stimulation report both deep physical pleasure and a powerful emotional release. Many described crying tears of joy, feeling truly seen by their partner for the first time in years. David, a 70-year-old retired teacher from Portland, Oregon, came to see me after 10 years of near zero intimacy with his wife, Carol. He said she would tense up the moment he tried to initiate anything. After learning this approach, the angle, the slow rhythmic pressure, the patience, he came back to my office a month later and said, "Dr. Harper, she pulled me close last night and said she felt happy. I haven't heard that word from her in so long." That's not just physical. That's a marriage coming back to life. The third and final technique in this phase is following her rhythm, not leading it. Once your wife begins to respond, her body will naturally start to move. Her hips may shift. Her breathing will change. Her whole presence will become more open. This is the moment most men get wrong. They get excited and try to take over, faster, harder, more. Don't. This moment belongs to her. What you need to do is match her. Sync your breathing to hers. Let your movements follow the pace her body is setting. Research shows that when partners reach this kind of physical synchrony, oxytocin levels increase by up to 40%, and women report feeling a profound emotional connection to their partner. Not just physical pleasure, but genuine intimacy. Mike, 71, from Dallas, told me that when he stopped trying to control the moment and just followed his wife's lead, something shifted. He said, "It was like we were dancing for the first time. Not me leading and her following, just together." That's exactly what I want for you. Now, what you do after is just as important as what you do during, and this is a part most men completely skip. After intimacy, hold your wife, pull her in close, and say something simple. "Thank you. I love you. That was beautiful." It doesn't need to be poetic. It needs to be real. These words trigger a second wave of oxytocin. And research shows couples who share physical affection and verbal warmth after intimacy report a 50% stronger emotional bond than those who simply roll over and fall asleep. Susan, 66 from Denver, told me during a session that the loneliest part of her marriage wasn't the lack of physical connection. It was how empty she felt afterward when her husband just turned off the light and went to sleep. I coached her husband, Tom, and within a few weeks, everything changed. Susan told me he held me and said, "I love you," like he meant it, and I felt like we were 25 again. You can also offer to draw a warm bath together or give her a simple shoulder rub before you both drift off. These aren't extras. They're the foundation that makes her want to do this again. Studies show couples who practice post-intimacy connection are 70% more likely to initiate the next time. Let's also talk about your own health, because this matters. Your wife deserves a husband who's present, energized, and engaged. 3 habits will make a real difference. First, exercise. Specifically, squats and planks, 20 minutes a day, 5 days a week. These 2 movements target the muscle groups most associated with testosterone production and pelvic strength. Research shows men who perform regular squats and planks can see testosterone levels increase by up to 15% over 3 months. Bill, 70, from Phoenix, started doing 50 squats and a 60-second plank every morning before his coffee. 3 months later, he told me, "Doc, I feel like I'm 55 again," and my wife noticed. Second, eat for your hormones. Zinc and vitamin D are your best friends. Oysters, walnuts, and salmon are at the top of my list. Men who eat a handful of walnuts daily and salmon twice a week consistently report improved energy and hormonal balance within 6 to 8 weeks. Simple changes you can make right now. Grab a bag of walnuts next time you're at Costco. Put salmon on the menu twice a week. Third, and people underestimate this one, sleep. Your body produces the majority of its testosterone between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. during deep sleep. If you're staying up watching TV until midnight or scrolling your phone in bed, you're stealing from yourself. Aim for 7 to 8 hours. Lights out by 10. Put the phone across the room. Keep the bedroom cool and dark. James, 67, from Seattle, started prioritizing sleep after years of staying up late. Within a month, he told me, "I wake up feeling like a different person. Everything improved. My mood, my energy, and yeah, the other stuff too." Now let me bring this all together, because I want to make sure you walk away from this with everything you need. What we've covered today is not just a technique. It's a complete approach to loving your wife the way she needs to be loved right now. At this stage of life, with the body she has today, and with the emotional needs she carries every single day, you've learned that your wife's body after menopause needs gentleness and patience, not intensity. You've learned that the anterior fornix and the A spot is the real switch, and that reaching it requires the right angle, rhythmic pressure, and above all, time. You've learned that emotional preparation throughout the day is not optional, it's the foundation. You've learned that what happens after intimacy is just as powerful as what happens during it. And you've learned that your own health, your sleep, your food, your movement directly affects the quality of your connection with her. I want to close with one more story because this one always stays with me. Thomas, 72, from Charlotte, North Carolina. He came to see me after 15 years of almost no physical intimacy with his wife, Eleanor. He sat down in my office, hands clasped, and said quietly, "Dr. Harper, I don't even know if it's possible anymore. I don't know if we're too far gone." I looked at him and said, "Thomas, it's not over, but you have to be willing to start small and stay patient." I gave him one assignment for the first 2 weeks. Every morning, hold Eleanor's hand for 2 minutes. That's it. No pressure, no agenda. Just presence. 2 months later, he called my office. He was crying. He said she kissed me on the cheek this morning and said she feels close to me again. Dr. Harper, I forgot what that felt like. That is what all of this is really about. Not technique, not anatomy, not supplements. It's about choosing to show up for your wife, fully, patiently, with love, every single day. You can do this. It doesn't matter if it's been months or years since you felt truly connected. The fact that you're here watching this, listening, that already says something about the kind of man and husband you are. Start today. Hold her hand. Tell her she's beautiful. Slow everything down tonight. And trust the process. I'll be back soon with more, and I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What part of today's video hit home for you? What are you going to try first? Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other.